Hello everyone and welcome to a brand new top 10 countdown! Today I'll be discussing my top 10 favorite Sonic the Hedgehog characters. Remember, this is only my top 10, you're free to comment below your top 10. I will only put characters from the video games and Sonic himself does not count. So let's begin. Number 10. Amy Rose. Amy Rose made her debut on Sonic CD. She was in love with Sonic at the very beginning of that game when the first time they meet, and Sonic rescued her from Metal Sonic. Since then, Amy Rose has been a little bit of a hit and miss character, but I still think she's very important to the Sonic franchise. I think that despite that sometimes they make Amy Rose a little too much in love with Sonic and that's it, there is times when Amy can be a badass. Personally, her levels in Sonic Adventure 1 were a lot of fun, and it was really cool to hit enemies with the Pico Pico hammer. And although her appearance in Sonic Lost World is very brief, she's actually not going all nuts about Sonic in the game. She's actually worried and concerned about Sonic helping all the little animals in the world. And say what you will about the Sonic Boom show or game, but at least Amy Rose was actually a very strong character in the Sonic Boom game and TV show. So here's hoping that Amy continues to grow as a character. Number 9. Metal Sonic. Metal Sonic made his debut in Sonic CD. Metal Sonic was an interesting take on a brand new villain. Even though he was created by Dr. Eggman, it was nice to see finally something close to Sonic. At first I was not a fan of Metal Sonic because it just seemed like another Sonic but in robot form, but his overall design is actually pretty cool. In this Sonic the Hedgehog movie, they actually explore a little bit of Metal Sonic having a personality very similar to Sonic the Hedgehog, and in Sonic Heroes we get to see him trying to take over the world on his own. It would be very cool to see again Metal Sonic try to do things his own way without the help of Dr. Eggman. But overall, he's definitely a worthy rival for Sonic. Number 8. Blaze the Cat. Blaze the Cat made her debut in Sonic Rush for the Nintendo DS. Blaze the Cat for me started as a very interesting character because she comes from another dimension. In this dimension, she technically is the Sonic the Hedgehog of that world. This is because there's a Dr. Eggman and she has to collect Soul Emeralds instead of Chaos Emeralds in this world. It definitely explored a very unique take for the Sonic universe, and not only that, but Blaze the Cat herself is actually a very cool character because she has a lot of fire moves, she can make fire tornadoes, and she's actually pretty fast like Sonic. On Sonic 06, her character got very complicated a little bit on his story because they made her that she was part of the future with Silver instead of another dimension. But to be honest, Sonic 06 story was a pretty big mess of things that ultimately got retconned in the very end by the same game on the ending. That said, her sacrifice to the Iblis Trigger was a very nice touch. I really hope that Blaze the Cat can be explored more in the future. Number 7. Knuckles the Echidna. Knuckles made his debut in Sonic the Hedgehog 3. Knuckles started as a very interesting character because he was a rival for Sonic. He was actually more of a villain role in this beginning. He later went on to star on his own game, Sonic and Knuckles, and he also had Knuckles Chaotix. I think Knuckles started as a very cool character that had a lot of seriousness to it and a lot of respect to it. And later on he went for a more hero role in the Sonic Adventure games, and I think it worked out well in that sense. I like the idea that he was the protector of the Master Emeralds and all the story behind the Master Emerald, the Chaos Emeralds and his race. I think that's actually pretty cool. I think that in terms of Knuckles, there's definitely a lot of history that we know about him of his past. Unfortunately, his character has been dumbed down a little too much lately, making him more of a strong character but a dumb one, which is a shame because I think Knuckles is definitely a character that can be really smart and powerful at the same time. So hopefully they can go back to making Knuckles cool again. Number 6. Silver the Hedgehog. Silver made his debut in Sonic the Hedgehog 06. Not exactly the best game to make your debut on, but Silver for me still turned out to be a really cool character. The idea that he has telekinesis powers made him already for me really cool. It was a new type of gameplay we have not seen before in a Sonic game, and it was nice to really control things around at your disposal. While the gameplay was not always perfect, the concept itself is still a very cool idea. Silver himself is still a very interesting character as a whole, as he comes from the future. I think Silver is definitely a character that should be explored more in the future, and I think he definitely has potential for so much story and so much development as a character that would be really great. Number 5. Dr. Eggman Robotnik. Dr. Eggman, of course, made his debut in the very first Sonic the Hedgehog title. He's the main antagonist in most of the Sonic the Hedgehog game. Eggman is a character that you can sometimes like, you can sometimes totally dislike, but you gotta admit, he sometimes has some very smart plans. Sometimes he has some very dumb ones. I think Dr. Eggman for me is a very cool character as a whole, because he's a character that's always evolving and changing throughout the game. Sometimes he's super evil trying to take over the world, but then everything goes all wrong and it's not the way he planned, because he wants to conquer the world, not destroy it. So sometimes his plans, when he tries to use other people, turn out the opposite way, so that makes him change as a character and actually become sort of a hero temporarily. And some of the crazy things that he does can be actually pretty funny at times. He definitely pairs really well with Sonic as a villain for him. Number 4. Espio the Chameleon. He debuted in Knuckles Chaotix, the Knuckles the Echidna spin-off game. Espio admittedly has not been in a lot of Sonic games, but to me, I think he's definitely one of the coolest personally, because he's always so mysterious. But he always looks very professional too. He's not constantly whining or crying or saying stuff like crazy, like he focuses on his job and what he needs to get done. Plus, he has a lot of ninja skills. Throwing ninja stuff, going invisible for stealthiness, and his overall design is actually pretty interesting. He's a bit of a mix of pink and purple at the same time. I think Espio is definitely a character that I would like to see more, and same for the Team Chaotix. Even though the rest of the Chaotix is not on this list, I still like them as a whole, the characters, and together they go really well. Number 3. Miles Tails Prower. Tails did his debut in Sonic the Hedgehog 2, becoming Sonic's very first friendly face and teammate. Tails is definitely a great partner in crime for Sonic. He is in some ways similar to Dr. Eggman in the sense that he's very smart, very technological, and knows how to work around things. But what I like a lot about Tails is that he's very innocent, but throughout the games he keeps evolving. We see him get smarter, stronger, more mature, and that's something that, despite all the crazy games that we have gotten, they have been very constant about that. I think Tails is definitely a character that has stayed stable in growing up throughout the games. By the time of Sonic Lost World, Tails is a very competent and strong character. Tails' abilities are also pretty cool because usually when you control him you can fly around the stage, and his ability with the tails constantly in motion even during cutscenes is actually very fun. Tails is definitely one of my favorite, if not favorite, partner of a hero from a video game. Number 2. Rouge the Bat. Rouge made her debut in Sonic Adventure 2. You know she was coming eventually on this list, come on. Rouge the Bat for me was always a very interesting character. Right from the start of the game, I was curious what was her motives. She seemed like she wanted to follow and support Dr. Eggman, but I was not totally convinced that she was actually evil with Dr. Eggman. Then later on you realize she's actually a spy, and even more impressive, she's a spy for the government itself. That was for me quite a big surprise, and I think it makes her character much more exciting. Not only that, but right from the start she's a very strong female character. She's very secure and firm on what she's going to do. She also pairs up really well with Shadow the Hedgehog, as a team. And she just manages to complement really well with the whole Sonic the Hedgehog universe. I think she's always fun to see how she interacts with other characters as a whole. I really hope that we can see more of Rouge the Bat in the future. Number 1. Big the Cat. Big the Cat made his debut in the game Sonic Adventure. His fishing Number 1. Shadow the Hedgehog. Shadow the Hedgehog made his debut in Sonic Adventure 2. Shadow the Hedgehog was a very interesting character, not only because he has a very unique design with the black mixed in with the red, but he was actually an experiment. Someone was trying to create a hedgehog that had the abilities of Sonic. Even more curious, it was actually Dr. Eggman's grandfather that created Shadow the Hedgehog. And I think it was great that we got to see Sonic finally have a brand new rival that was not just Metal Sonic as a robot, but instead it was actually another life form that resembles a lot Sonic in the sense that he's a hedgehog and a live one, not a robot one. And Shadow as a whole is a very mysterious character. You're not entirely sure if he's good or bad. You just know that he really went through a lot, and you're curious to know what did he go through. Unfortunately, the Shadow the Hedgehog spin-off game didn't really help explore more his story rather than confuse it even more, but it was still nice to be able to play as Shadow as a centric character. Not only that, but Shadow the Hedgehog has a lot of cool abilities with the Chaos Emeralds, like Chaos Control. And some of his stages overall in Sonic Adventure 2 are some of the best Sonic stages ever. Like Radical Highway is definitely one of my favorite Sonic stages ever. And that's it for my top 10 favorite characters. Disagree? Agree? Be sure to tell me your top 10 favorite characters below in the comments. It's okay, you don't have to agree with me. Maybe you totally hate Shadow. That's fine. I'm very curious to know your opinion as well. If you have any suggestions of future top 10 countdowns related to Sonic or any other video game franchise, also be sure to let me know. Thank you for watching and see you next time.